Hello Steph, and today we're coming from Cwm Idwal. And what an absolutely beautiful place it is. So here is where I started the real journey to where I was going and could see the mountains just over the ridge. And this is where I ended up having my lunch with an absolutely amazing view of the surrounding snowy mountains. As every good walk starts, I actually went down the wrong route and got lost, but managed to see the lovely valley at the bottom. And eventually managed to find my way back. And then you got to the lake itself. The inland beach there was lovely. It's somewhere that I'm hoping to take my partner and that we can have a picnic. And of course I decided to dip my toes in, as far as was reasonable anyway for this time of year. One of the bits I really enjoy about doing out the back of the car is the cosy bit where you get to just take your coat off and then get into the back of the car and make yourself nice and snug. So I've got back from my walk, I've had my tea, which was just a couple of cups of tea and the trail mix that I usually put together, so I'll probably have something a bit more by the time that I get home. And it's been a lovely walk. It's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, but it made up for it in all the things that you could see and how beautiful it looked. Unfortunately, it's on a very busy road, so I'll probably be phasing in and out a few different bits and pieces as I speak, just because you can't actually hear very much when the cars start to go past. One of the things that the screens have come in quite handy for is that because it's gone quite dark now, just with it being this time of year, I can put them up in the boot window and at the side window here so that I can have a little bit of light on so that I can see what I'm doing without people being able to see in and think, what on earth are you up to? So there's been a few changes since I last spoke to you. I've still managed to get a couple of local trips out, but this is the biggest one I've had in a while just because of getting over the cold flu-y thing that didn't really have a name. But it's been really, really enjoyable. I'm very glad that I've done it and it was much needed. Cwm Idwal sits to the side of a place called Ogwen, where you've got Llyn Ogwen, which is a big lake, and around that you've got some of the Welsh mountains that people can climb, some of which are way beyond my ability to climb now, but I can still take advantage of some of the smaller bits like Cwm Idwal. Other than getting back into walking and getting out, I've managed to finally get back into cooking, which I'd stopped for a while. So today's sandwich, which had a chicken substitute in it, was one that I'd made myself. So you can use or make something called seitan from bread flour. Or well, any flour really that's got a high protein content, but this the vital wheat gluten, which is the protein itself, you can buy separately, so you don't have to go through the rigmarole of trying to separate the sugars from the protein in the flour, and you can make it into essentially what's like a vegan salami of sorts. And the way that you flavour it then determines what it's supposed to mimic. So the one that I did mimicked chicken, and I was very thankful that my mum was able to give me some beetroot that a friend of hers had given her from their allotment. Mum had boiled it and peeled it and had a lot left over, so she gave me a couple, and I had that on there as well with some sourdough, which was really nice. I'm also getting back into the regular baking too, so I've got a Black Forest Gatto recipe that I'm looking forward to trying out and seeing what people think, and hopefully back into bread making as well. I used to make a loaf of bread every week and that's gone by the wayside, so it'd be nice to get back into that again. The carolling season in the Peak District is also looking to start soon as well, so I'm hoping to visit a few chapels and places and join in with the brass bands that are playing there. And that's always a fantastic experience, just being a part of a big group of people all doing something together and feeling a part of a community with people that you don't even know. And I think that's a very special feeling. As somebody that's quite a solitary person with quite a lot of solitary hobbies, I do like a little bit of social contact sometimes, and that really gives me a fix, as does saying hello to people on walks like today and how kind they are. Before that, I visited the Peak District, which I really enjoyed too, and you can see that now. Hello, Steph. So I'm coming to you from just outside the Peak District in the Staffordshire Moorlands now. I'm in a lay-by where there is a trig point. So there is a sort of a sheet of metal on top of a pile of cemented rocks with different landmarks pointed out, the distance that they are from where the point actually is. And it's a really good way of getting ideas for where to go next or have a walk round. So it'll be things like big hills, possibly a mountain if there's one nearby. Sort of points of cultural interest and things like that tend to be on there too. This is also one of these places in the evening where you can really see the stars. It's not too close to many sources of light, so you get a good view of the sky. The problem can be, though, that sometimes you get people coming up to the front of the car flashing their lights, which doesn't really do anything for your eyes when you're trying to look up at the stars, and I think they probably think I'm having a lot more fun than I'm actually having. So I think those metal or metallic sheets that I've cut out are going to come in quite useful for just blocking off the front of the car when I'm wanting to look at the sky and see the stars. And one of the things that I've not found yet, but I'm going to be looking for just as it gets a bit darker and hopefully we get a bit of clearer weather, is the Andromeda Galaxy. So I've not managed to catch that with my naked eye yet, so I'm hoping that's something that I can do this year. It's quite misty and foggy around here at the moment, so you can't really see any distance, so you wouldn't really know where anybody was. A little bit like the time that I went to Snowden last month and got to the top, wanted to have a look at all these lovely views, but instead I was greeted with cloud all over the place. So I managed to get to the summit, but couldn't actually see anything, which I think could have been to my favour considering how much I'm frightened of heights. So looking down the other side of Snowden might have been a little bit of a challenge. Here, on the other hand, the wind is present, but it's quite calm and lilting. So I'm just sitting here really relaxing, listening to it after I've had a bit of a snack, and trying not to go to sleep really, because it's such a lovely kind of background, relaxing, soothing sound. So there's a few interesting things that have happened since I've last spoke to you. One is that a water main has burst in the street, so I've suddenly inherited a new pond, which I don't know how long that's going to last or whether we'll get any ducks or anything like that in it, but United Utilities have been very quick about coming and sorting it out, so I don't think it's going to be there for ages. And my car appears to have sprung a leak in the radiator fluid, so I'm now carrying around one of these big purple tubs just to keep it topped up really, because it's a very slow leak, so I can still get around the place. I'm preparing for Christmas as well, a little bit early. So I'm usually got some sort of snotty, fluey cough or something like that over Christmas. So I've decided I'll start a little bit early so I don't miss out on any of the events and things running up to it as I've done before. So that just means things like putting a few decorations and things up and just trying to get into the spirit of things sooner. I've also been modelling with my partner, so they've got out these little models that are used in miniature wargaming, and they've started me off on something called Frostgrave. So I've got to decide on some names for my characters, what sort of things my characters are going to do, and how they're going to solve different missions and problems that I think they're going to give me a bit more information about once I've got the hang of actually gluing the things together. They're that tiny. So back here in Ogwen, I think I'll just stay a little while longer and take the blind silvery things down, listen to the rain a little longer, perhaps have another cup of berry tea, and start to make my way home. This has come in very handy, the little mushroom light that I got from Aldi, so that was a definite win. Yes, and I'm just really glad that I'm getting back into things, getting out, breathing some fresh air, being a part of the sort of natural world, if you like, again. I'm just getting back into a few hobbies. So I look forward to talking to you about how December's gone and how the touring around the Peak District and being a part of the community that I spoke about before went, and the activities and things that will be going on. December's quite a busy time usually. And thank you very much for watching.